Hey, okay, we've gotten to table of contents, looks like. This is Antique Bible Reading number 9. The names in order of all the books of the Old and New Testaments with the number of their chapters. So rather than read all of these, when I was a kid, I remember my father was a preacher, a Methodist preacher. He later became an Orthodox Christian schema monk before he reposed. But anyway, my mom was a Sunday school teacher and played the piano, and we had to memorize all the books of the Bible, which I can't do anymore, and the Ten Commandments and a whole bunch of verses. I still have a lot of the verses memorized. And I re-memorized the Ten Commandments with my son not too long ago. But my old brain doesn't work like it used to, so I can't do that anymore. I now settle for trying to occupy as much of my time as possible thinking about God and whatever I'm doing, and then regularly reading to occupy my mind. Even if it doesn't stick, at least I'm staying busy that way. So this book has a lot of detail. This is it looks like it's a very well done book. I may not agree with all the stuff in the introduction, but the way they talked about idiot monks and whatnot, but the book itself is pretty nice, to be honest with you. I am going to save reading some more. They've got Reviser's preface. I think I'm going to skip that. I'd like to get to the actual Bible. Showing offices of the American Committee. So, a lot of big wigs back in the day. All these different colleges that put this together. And then this gets into some of the graphics they got. It's really nice. Mount Sinai and Canaan. Before my dad reposed, he gave all of his children the opportunity to go to the Holy Land and to Mount Sinai in Egypt. So we went to Jerusalem, and we went to Bethlehem and Galilee and Nazareth and all, the tomb and sepulcher, Golgotha, it's all right there together. And it was a blessed trip. I got to walk up Mount Sinai before sunrise and watch the sunrise from the top. And I got to sit in the cleft in the rock where Moses hid. And St. Catherine's Monastery there is protected because Muhammad, when he was traveling through there during his lifetime, he almost died. And the monks there at that monastery saved his life. And so there's a letter there written in his handwriting, along with several other artifacts, where he tells the Muslims not to touch the monastery. But it is still dangerous to get in and out of there. So you can't get there right now. Anyway, there's a lot of really nice and very detailed illustrations. And I don't, unfortunately, have time to go through all of them in great detail because, I have a family and work full-time and have a lot to do. But I will at least show them to you because I don't know that this book is going to last for another generation. It's really fallen apart. So this was published in the late 1800s, I guess, in the last half of the 1800s. My family's been here since the Revolutionary War on my father's side. My mother's side was English and Irish. They came over in the 1800s, right after the Civil War, I think. I'm not really sure, but I know it was around that time. But my dad's family was here since the beginning. since before the country was a country. So we have a diary, and it talks about all these things. I had a relative who marched with Sherman to the sea, and supposedly we're related to General Stonewall Jackson by marriage, like a cousin. And genetically we're related to James Madison, which is interesting. He wrote most of the Constitution. So, obviously, this is a Protestant work, and I'm not going to get into the whole, I don't want to get into the details of all that, because it's just, you're welcome to read the history, but it's got little biographies of all these characters. Let's see if my eyesight can pick this up here. Bishop Craner, Miller Coverdale, William Tyndale, John Wycliffe. Yeah, these are all famous historical characters. Reverend John Rogers, Reverend Lawrence Saunders. Sorry, my eyesight's getting bad. I don't have my glasses on. And there's Martin Luther. Martin Luther is an interesting character. He actually talked to the Orthodox Christians before he started his church, but he decided he wanted to do his own thing. And sadly, he, according to history, did a lot of the same things that he was upset with the Catholics for doing. Calvin as well. They were all they were intense characters. Cardinal Wolsey. Who's this guy? Public burning of English Bibles in London. So they must be talking about the Catholic persecution. I know that my ancestors were English knights and nobles of England, and they occupied Ireland for like 300 years. And to this day, there's still a lot of animosity there. My family, I have no doubt, wanted nothing to do with the corruption and the politics, because that's kind of the way I am. I don't. My grandfather was the same way. So I think that explains why we moved to the United States. But my family were very, very devout Protestants. They helped build the church in the country here in central Illinois. Noah's thank offering. So see, here's some more graphics. Noah. Of course, these are very Western styled art pieces. The ancient church iconography is quite different. It's less fleshy. It's more two-dimensional. Fall of our first parents. Getting kicked out of Eden. Sorry. After the banishment from paradise. Sacrifice of Cain and Abel. And Cain killing Abel. Yeah. Things just really went downhill from there. Noah's building the ark. So there's lots and lots of illustrations in this book, and that's why it's so thick. So I'm gonna, since I'm getting close to 10 minutes, I'm gonna stop there. There's several pages of illustrations, so we'll pick this up tomorrow. Say your prayers. God bless. Over and out.